Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Perfect Talk with Dr. Hlami, the platform that brings you exciting energy in the agricultural sector. It is the platform where knowledge meets, the demand and supply of information interact. We bring, knowledgeable people, energetic people who are inspiring in the agricultural sector. I'm sure by now you know what the perfect, concept stands for. I'm sure some of you are repeating with me. P stands for policies. R, F, E, C, T. I know some of you are already repeating that with me. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking something very exciting. We are talking perfect technologies. I have in our midst a young gentleman coming all the way from Zimbabwe. Welcome, Tawanda Hove. Tawanda, welcome to the Perfect Talk where we talk technologies.
Thank you, Dr. Hlami. It's such an honor to be a part of this wonderful show.
Okay, so who is this Tawanda Hove?
First and foremost, I'm an agricultural development practitioner, but with a specific focus towards digital agriculture. I'm a student from the University of Free State where I'm studying my PhD. I'm also a master's graduate with the same institution, and I've studied agribusiness with a marketing focus. I've also studied business and entrepreneurship in digital technologies with the University of Wisconsin. So
Where is that? Where
in
is that?
short,
Slow down. Where is that?
okay. Yeah, University of Wisconsin is in the Midwest in the United States.
Okay. But
so I'm a bit of a United Nations.
I can see that. Okay, so what you have shared now are the things that you have studied, postgraduate and all that. Because
Yes.
I want our listeners and our viewers to understand where did it all come when we were doing your high school and all that. How did your inspiration of getting into agriculture, nurtured? How it was nurtured? How did it happen?
Okay. So yeah, for me, if you had told me in high school that I would be in agriculture, the greater part of my life, I would have told you that you're nuts. I wouldn't really have thought about that route. But what happened is, when I finished my high school, I went to a very competitive university in Zimbabwe called the National University of Science and Technology.
Okay.
So the first degree I studied was actually in marketing, but the major was in agribusiness. So by majoring into agribusiness, by the grace of God, I managed to get an opportunity in one of the biggest fertilizer companies of Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So what then happened is I was really introduced to the whole world of agriculture. I come from southern Zimbabwe where it's mostly like livestock production, not much on crop science, crop production. So I understood agriculture and the related value chains better when I was employed by this company in the capital in Harare. So having got that exposure, I was also fortunate enough to have a very passionate, dynamic Nigerian lecturer woman. I don't know, women always empower me or capacitate me to actually dream big. So she's the one who actually told me, say, you know what, Tawanda, you work in agriculture. There's this exciting program with the University of Free State in South Africa.
Yes.
So I was already in agriculture. Then I was now promoted working in Zambia, Zimbabwe, and stuff. So when I went to Free State, it met a particular lady again. I won't tell you who she is. Yeah, I then got to realize that agriculture was so broad, there were perfect opportunities, and from there on, I never looked back. That actually started motivating me to start thinking of the problems in agriculture and being very innovative. So that is how I eventually grew into digital agriculture.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, I know the lady that he's talking about. So as a disclaimer, Tawanda was my master student at the
Mm,
University of Free State, and I actually supervised him for his
yeah.
master's, and
Yeah.
I'm also supervising him for his PhD. Tawanda,
Yeah.
when I talk about the people that I mentor, you are
Yes.
one of those who are so energetic. I just can't
Oh,
cope
thank you.
with your level of energy. Where do you get
Yes.
that?
Okay, so the starting point, I think, when you find a career or an occupation which really gives you a conviction that this can make a difference in the world, not necessarily the money, but where you know you can somebody's life can actually be better.
Yes.
That's what gets me pumped up because there were times, even before I understood that I was actually had a calling in agricultural development.
Yes.
There was times where I'd be watching like on TV on CNN, seeing people like in South Sudan or people seeing people in parts of Ethiopia starving with hunger and so forth. I would literally cry time just watching the news. And so I developed that compassion, for people who are fighting against hunger, fighting against poverty. And I just felt that, as long as I live, I have to do something to improve those people's lives. So that's what gives me the energy now to be so busy and energetic in agriculture.
Yeah, I remember uh, during that time when I was supervising you,
Yes,
you approached me with an
yes,
application. You're
yes,
applying for something. I think it was
yes,
in Mauritius, I think.
yes, 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 exactly,
Yes. Okay.
exactly.
Tell us about that. Where did you get information about that application, and what inspired you to just go for it? Because
Okay,
and I'll
so
tell you why I'm asking, because we keep on saying opportunities, there are opportunities there and there, but a lot of
yeah,
people don't see these opportunities, and I always tell people that an opportunity will not come and hit you on your forehead. You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
actually go and seek and all that. So just tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so what I'll start off by saying is exactly as you said, is that success is not accidental; it is very deliberate. Now, you first and foremost have to have a self-awareness of who you are as a person and what kind of problems are you solving in the world. So after you've done that, you now start developing relationships with people who are in that kind of space of the problems you want to solve, both
Mm-hmm.
senior, junior, some at peer level.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, humility always works. Like when I approached you, I knew that there'd be value added to my life by having a mentor like you. So
Mm-hmm.
what I've done as a culture generally is I built broad networks, and when I build those broad networks, I
Mm-hmm.
get to hear all of this information.
Yes.
You'll be shocked that I, for all the jobs I've worked, I've never really seen the advert in a newspaper. It's either somebody tells me or somebody
Mm-hmm.
calls me for that job. So
I hear you.
I can simply say that over and above having the skill technically, you might be a science person, economics person, whatever, you have to have people skills whereby you build strong relationships which benefit you.
Yes. Okay. So I just want to share something here
Okay.
again. Okay. Yes, I follow you on social media. Actually
Oh,
follow you
thank you.
with passion, follow you with
Yeah.
passion. And what I have
Yeah.
picked is that you have such strong messages.
Yes.
And here you were quoting, the perfect opportunity. Tell us a little bit more. What were you doing here?
Okay, so this is an agricultural center of excellence. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to create models both from crop production and livestock production of
Yes.
how people can really get the best out of agriculture. How can they can actually make a career out of agriculture.
Okay.
So one of the realizations was that young people seem to be, like we always say that there's this perception that agriculture is so drudgery, it's not really paying, it's a lot of labor input and low financial returns. So we're
Yes.
trying to address that mindset by saying, here's how you can do agriculture profitably and
Yes.
actually earn more than a person who has a student retire on a daily basis.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yes. And,
that was the motivation behind that agricultural center of excellence.
okay. And then who is we? Whom are you working for now? What are you doing? If maybe let me put it that way.
Okay, so I'm working for an international Germany development agency called Weltungayova. It works in about 40 countries.
Okay.
So my role within this organization is to um, create solutions within the agricultural value chain which have a
Mm,
digital component. So I coordinate digital agriculture.
I
So
see.
you notice that I'm firstly an agricultural person, but then who then adds a digital component to it so that we have some efficiencies,
Yes.
we scale it, and we increase the prospects of success using tech.
Okay. I know I have my 14-year-old son who likes,
Okay.
technology and all that. But sometimes when I say, you can do something in agriculture, he looks at me like I've smoked, something. So if
Yeah.
my son and other young people who are so techno savvy, and when they are
Mm.
listening to you, what would you tell them?
Okay, so what I'll say is that agriculture is quite broad and technology is a very big space in which they could work in. It's
Yes,
not only, Apple, the iPhones who are the only tech companies which actually make a difference in people's lives. I'll give you an example. Let's look
yes,
at drone technology.
yes,
Instead of doing crop and livestock assessments, the traditional whereby you visit 100 farmers on foot, on motorbike, and so forth, you
yes,
can actually just deploy a drone and have somebody who actually does the data analytics.
yes,
That's now the science part. For
yes,
that, for whatever crop or livestock you're assessing,
yes, yes,
you've got looking at mobile technology. In Africa is so blessed in the sense that mobile technology is growing at a very rapid pace. You can
yes,
actually develop apps here, like you've put up now.
yes.
You notice that, like what we've done here in Zimbabwe, we've built an agricultural extension and marketing application called Kurimamari. That is the
Okay,
one called, if you on the screen, Zimbabwe's #1 farming app.
this
It helps
one.
farmers, like, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It helps farmers grow, yeah, grow better, grow much more effectively, even in the absence of a physical extension worker. But
yes,
over and above that, it enables farmers, to link up with markets. Uh,
yes,
Agriculture is a business, so some of the challenges farmers have, serious challenges, especially in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi, is that farmers can be passionate about growing, but when it comes to linking to the market, they are quite poor.
I
So
see.
we've tried to create a platform in which they can easily interact with the prospective buyers. So that
Okay,
is just one example of an app. If you look
okay,
on the left-hand side now,
yes,
we now have an Uber for agriculture, Agrishi, whereby,
okay,
okay, you have a 5 hectare plot, you don't have a tractor, but you'd
yes.
want to hire a tractor. So you simply go on that application, hire it, pay using
Wow.
mobile money like M-Pesa, EcoCash, depends
Yes,
on whatever country you're coming from. But South
yes,
Africa, it's quite, mobile money is quite popular as well.
yes,
So you notice that where farmers previously could not afford to have a tractor tilling their land, we now
yes.
have created a mobile-enabled hiring service. So
Wow.
all of this is now IT now being built into agriculture, which is
Wow.
a space which your son could exploit as well.
Wow. This is really exciting. Every time I speak to you, I learn a lot. I learn new things and I learn a lot. Okay, let me
Yeah.
see. I know now you also do things around, remote sensing.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you know, when we're talking about remote sensing, it's like you are monitoring and managing something, but away from it physically. And yeah, it includes satellite technology, drone technology, a bit of data science, and so forth.
Hmm.
So one of the things I've tried to do is in the organization I work for is to
Hmm.
make sure that we work with some of the key institutions within agriculture in any country. Like,
Yes.
for example, the Ministry of Agriculture.
Hmm.
Yeah, what I've endeavored to do is, like, for example, today I had a meeting with the permanent secretary of agriculture for the Zimbabwe Ministry of Agriculture,
Yes.
where we're briefing to say that, what, this is what we've done so far with the ministry, but this is how Zimbabwe can fix its problems by harnessing digital agriculture and innovation systems.
Yes.
So you notice that geographic information systems, remote sensing, is what the modern extensionists should now be using. Yeah, we
Okay.
can't have situations where, for an extension report, somebody just gives reports verbally and it's just text and figures. What we
Hmm.
want is the evidence, give us satellite
Wow.
imagery to say that, okay, we've got 6,000 hectares planted of maize.
Yes.
Here's the imagery. If we're
Yes.
talking about the effects of a dry spell or climate change or a
Yes.
drought, say,
Yes.
okay, this is the belt in which the crop has been affected. Then you show us the what we call
Evidence.
nominal vegetative index images, whereby we see that, okay, the crop is not doing quite well, but
Yes.
all of that is happening without even physically visiting the farms.
I hear you. Well, I don't know what to say. Okay. And I know that you are one of the people who believes that the future is in our hands.
Yes, yes, precisely.
Yes. You are saying you don't have to wait for someone. The future is in
Mm.
our hands. And you are also encouraging young people. Tell me a little bit about that conviction. Why do you believe the future is in our hands?
Yeah, I've noticed there are two ways of experiencing life. You can allow life to happen to you whereby government policy, like I come from a very difficult country, Zimbabwe, with so many challenges, political, economical, and so forth. And
Yes.
you can come up with all the good excuses of why you are not maximizing your potential.
Yes.
But yeah, I like what one person says. He says the best way of knowing the future is by creating it. So
Okay.
what I believe in is
Mhm.
in every situation, no matter how difficult, there are always problems which are there to be solved. And the
Yes.
more you solve problems, the more people are actually willing to compensate or reward your problem solving abilities. So
Yes.
one of the things I've endeavored to do is if I can find a good enough problem to solve, no matter
Yes.
how bad the economy in Zimbabwe might be, I'll always have bread on my table because
Yes.
I'm making a difference for someone. I think that's the essence of being in a labor or in an exchange market. Have something of value to exchange, and somebody definitely will want to pay for that.
Yes. You know what we are saying? How I wish every young person in South Africa, in Kenya, in other places, if they could listen to what you are saying. Because you are saying you cannot just wait. You know, the waiting syndrome doesn't help.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
dependency syndrome doesn't help. You know, when an opportunity comes, it doesn't come for those who wait. It actually comes for those who are actually, you know, trying out and doing something. I think this
yeah,
explains why you got, you know, some rewards or awards. Tell me a little bit about, you know, this picture here.
yeah. Okay, so for the benefit of our audience today,
Mm,
the United Nations Development Program and the World Food Program (WFP), they have
yes,
what they call an innovation accelerator. Now, this
yes,
innovation accelerator is open to everyone and anyone globally. So,
yes,
what they do is they're trying to find ideas which can help reduce the issues to do with hunger, poverty, climate change, and so forth.
yes,
So, I put in an application, and my organization supported me
yes,
whereby we were actually called to come and be trained in terms of how do you build an innovation which is a sustainable life, but
yes,
over and above that, compete with other people, not from Israel, from the Netherlands,
all
from the
over the
United
world.
States, in terms of
Yes,
from all over the world, in terms of who had an innovation which really could address hunger. So me and
yes,
my colleague called Francisca Keting, German lady, we developed
yes,
this concept called AgriShare, which is the Uber for farming
yes,
application.
yes,
So we designed the business model, we explained the concept, we did a prototype. Then there's a special event hosted in Munich in Germany called Pitch Night.
yes.
I presented the idea to a jury, innovators from all over the world, and people voted. And by the grace of God, we came first. So
Wow, wow.
that got us like first 100,000
Yes,
to implement the solution. Then
yes,
after that, BMZ pitched in with about almost $2 million, which is a
wow.
project we're now implementing in about 4 countries. Yeah,
Wow, wow. You know what? I mean, knowing you, if I would have been a judge or somebody who
yeah,
had to
yeah,
vote, definitely I will
yeah.
put up, you know, my hand because I believe so much in what you do. And it's not about
Thank you.
chance, because at least I know
Yeah,
you. It's not about chance, but it's about
yes, yes.
dedication. It's about, you know,
Yeah,
that conviction to say, you know what, there is no mountain high enough for me to actually climb. And I
yeah,
think that
exactly,
is a
exactly.
spirit that I wish
Mm.
every young person could actually have. to say, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave any stone unturned until I reach, my destination. And this is
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
kind of, attitude that I always admire with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tawanda, we don't have the whole time to actually share.
Yeah.
And what what is that, key message that you want to leave young people with in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in the SADC region, in the African continent?
Okay, so what I want to say is I think we need to celebrate that we're an agronomic continent generally. We are an
Mhm,
agricultural continent.
mhm,
And just looking at the perfect opportunity spectrum, there
mhm,
is room and space for everyone. Yeah, if you love the legal stuff, the low kind of stuff, the policy direction, there's something for you. If you love business, there's an opportunity for you. If you
yes.
love innovation technology, there's an opportunity for you. So what I'll simply say is let's identify our passions in line with what could actually make our African economic sector great. And
Mhm,
agriculture provides quite a very good platform. So I would encourage, especially young people, say, let's
mm.
get into agriculture at this different level and let's make a difference for our continent.
Not getting into agriculture by chance. Let us
Yeah,
make,
yeah,
agriculture our career of choice.
exactly, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Wow, Tawanda, thank you very much for gracing our platform today. We have learned a lot, and I'm sure we will come back, for more. I'm sure when we invite you again, you will be willing to come and share more, because with this, few minutes, it was not possible for me to gain or to get everything that I know that you can actually offer to people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have time for today. You know where to find us. You can subscribe, there in our, also follow us on the social media platform. Next time we'll be bringing you more exciting, people who are going to share with you perfect opportunities that you can harness in the agricultural sector. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Tawanda.
Thank you so much, man. God bless.